Yo, so Master will need to do something with these events, bruh. Because for the longest, we've been in the cycle of the same few events, basically. They always just mix it up slightly. Like, we'll get a Duelist Cup, like, what, 3 or 4 times, I think, a year? We get a Duelist Cup, we get some random festival, usually it's like Synchro and Link. Then they're doing, like, the type festivals, I guess, now. Like, they did the Fiend and Fairy one, if I remember correctly. But that one was pretty much just promo for Labyrinth, because I think that was when Lady came out, when they got Labyrinth support, basically. So, yeah. But we need some new events. I'm kind of sick of playing the same ones over and over. I really am. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I get it. The main thing is we're just doing it for the gems more than anything. But some of them were fun. Like, the 2004 little mini event for the rental, that was a cool-ass event. Like, letting people see what the game was, for people that wasn't around during that time, letting them see what the '04 Yu-Gi-Oh was like to a degree, was actually pretty fucking cool. And I definitely had a lot of fun with that one, because it was way more back and forth than it is now. It wasn't as much interaction, but the interaction nowadays is pretty much just hand traps. Back in the day, your interaction was traps, actually. You had to kind of run traps to really interact with your opponent on their turn. Unless you had a rare quick effect monster or some shit. But, what I would say is I am definitely sick of those damn events. One event we had at the beginning, if you weren't around for it, that never came back, the Normal and Rare Festival, which was that was a cool one. Literally all it was is you can only use Normal and Rare cards in that event. I get why they didn't want to bring it back, because the only reason I can think of they don't want to bring that event back, well, I guess there's two things. Number one, some people in those events want to run a certain deck. Like, most of the time when an event comes around, people don't want to use the loaners, they don't have to. I'll do the loaners, I don't really give a shit. But when it comes to this event, it didn't really matter what you did, because it was normal and rare materials, which is easy to get. You could craft or whatever. You can get people to use their SR and UR on other events if they want to play a certain deck. And then that can just relate to them, oh, we need more gems. That just turned into them needing more gems so they can get more SR UR for different events. And then you can keep this cycle going of, okay, drop an event, they have to use some SR UR to craft some cards, open up some packs, which makes them use some of the gems they would probably save for something else, and then they gotta spend money when that pack come out. So I get it on that side. But I think the main reason is because the way the meta went. That event was dominated by 2 decks, Megalith and Metalfoes. If you don't know, Megalith and Metalfoes have no URs. They have, I think, 1 SR each, or maybe Metalfoes has 2. They have Metalfoe Fusion and Alkahest, and I think Eratron is the only Megalith SR. So that event was clearly, like, dominated by them. Rituals not needing to really search too much in that deck, because Megaliths, all the ritual monsters are ritual spells. Metalfoes can just pop everything they fucking have and keep searching and shit like that. I don't know how the hell Metalfoes was fusion. But they have like 3 fusion spells, I guess. But I think the other ones are worse, but I guess they figured it out. But that event was actually unique. Now, we're kind of doing the same thing over and over. Synchro/Link, Fusion/Xyz, Link, like, they kind of just mix up the summoning mechanics. And then they gave us 1 ritual festival, and they only gave it to us because they finally released like a ritual, like they were releasing ritual art around that time. I think it was the Nouvelles or whatever. What is that thing? The Hungry Burger deck. And now we're in the same cycle again of just random ass festivals mixed together. Some ideas. First off, make the 2004 thing a real event. Which they could definitely do that. They literally kind of did it already. Just give people loaner decks with a bunch of banned cards, or a decent amount of some of the banned cards just at one. See how it goes. Like, there was no Delinquent Duo. Like, we should get some from around that time, like Delinquent Duo, Confiscation, Chaos Emperor Dragon, all that sort of shit. It would be cool to see, and give them their, since it's an event, it doesn't matter as much. Give them their old effects. Give them their crazy ass effects. How about that? Like pre-errata effects, only in the event though. That would be sick. Like, just get a traditional format with the pre-errata cards, or we can do this. I don't think they would ever do this, but we can do other formats overall. Like, I don't think they really acknowledge them as far as I know. I don't know if Konami like acknowledges GOAT format or Edison. But getting events for those would be fucking sick too. Any other event type would be a little iffy. Like we already got the type versus event. Was there? I think there was an attribute event at one point. Like the 4 main attributes, like without light and dark or something like that. Yeah, attribute 4. I remember the attribute 4 festival. Another event idea would be the opposite of an event they did before. They did the extra 0, where you couldn't have an extra deck. We should do one where it's not that you have to fill up your extra deck per se, but you have to play one of every extra deck type in your deck. I know people are gonna say, oh, this kind of messes up certain decks. Why Monarchs have such a good field spell that locks people out. I was like, yeah, but they don't really care about that. Like they'll hit certain cards in a deck just so it's not viable for the event, or you can't speedrun the event. Like my main deck was Mikako for a while. After they figured out about the double-edged sword thing, that thing gets banned in almost every event that Mikakos are playable in. And Mikakos aren't an extra deck archetype, so they're usually available in most events, and double-edged sword consistently be getting hit. But they don't want to speedrun the event with them, even though they're a pretty expensive deck, so I'm surprised. I think that would be definitely an idea. There's decks like DDD that'll just be a loner most likely. But being able to play with every like monster type would be an idea. Like they try to force you to use all of them. You can try to find some weird way to get to all of them if you want to, or you just put them in your extra deck. It doesn't even matter, but it would just limit your extra deck space just more, so you can see some weird decisions. Like you can start seeing what monsters are the most like prioritized in the extra deck to certain decks. Alright, they can do something like this, I guess. If I can think of one other thing, we can get duels based on things from the anime. Like we could, I don't know how they would incorporate it, but something like speed duels or entertainment duels would be cool. Where you just, I don't know how they do entertainment, but speed duels, you could get just, after every player ends a turn, they get a speed counter, and you'll just have cards that can be, like you should probably have 1 or 2 cards that you just pick from a loadout basically, and you just have them on standby. You can pop them whenever, kind of like how Duel Links handles skills. Shit, if they want to, they can do a Duel Links event at that point. Like have a Duel Links event where it plays like Mass Duel and Duel Links has an event. They have a crossover event like that where you pretty much get the Master Duel rules and get the Duel Links rules for one event. That would be lit. Another thing they could do is do other things like based on the original anime. Like what if we got, I think it was Battle City. I think it was the Battle City rules where you're collecting star chips. Like imagine you have to play against certain people and you get star chips, and then this one would be a little bit more involved. Like you'd have to play against either, you have to only use certain decks of the characters from Battle City, and then once you get enough wins against other random players, you would fight like a boss that would be like a character from the anime, whoever it is. It could be Pegasus, don't matter who it is, but you just fight against the boss at the end, and it could be an AI, or if they want to go that extra mile and try to do it, oh, only certain people can go against them that got enough of these star chips or whatever. You can make it a developer, but I'm like, they're not gonna do that shit. So that, I think it's an idea, but AI would be easier. I think it would be a cool idea. I just don't think it's gonna get done. But that's all I'm gonna say on it for now. Let me know what y'all think if y'all got any other event ideas. But that's all I can think of for now. It's Kingsden, and we out. Take it easy.